YouTube in 2025 is basically an endless AI soup. Every single day, something like 20 million new videos get uploaded. Somewhere inside that chaos there are smart ideas, and somewhere very close to them, a mountain of pure trash that, for some reason, still gets millions of views. On top of that mess, a service called Vidx.ai shows up in my inbox. They wrote me and said something like, "Hey, we've built an analytics tool for Faceless, AI-generated YouTube channels. Want to try it and maybe make a review?" And because I already have some experimental Faceless channels where I'm playing with AI-generated videos, I thought, okay, this is actually interesting. Let's see what they've got. Quick disclaimer before we go deeper, this is not a sponsored video in the, here's a script, read it, sense. They did promise me some bonuses, access to their pro plan and a few perks, if I make a video and share my honest feedback. So the deal is simple, they give access, I give my opinion. If something is weird, I say it. Alright, let's talk about what Vidx.ai actually is. It's not a video editor. It's not a generate 100 videos at the click of a button AI factory. It's not a build me a YouTube channel while I'm sleeping magic pill. Vidx.ai is basically analytics and idea discovery specifically for faceless/AI-driven content. Think of it like YouTube spy tools for automation channels. It shows you which faceless channels are growing, which videos are blowing up, what topics are trending, and where the algorithm is currently throwing its love. One important technical detail, as far as I understand, a lot of what Vidx.ai surfaces is based on YouTube's own altered content checkbox. You know that question in the upload flow. Does your content make a real person appear to say or do something they didn't? Alter footage of a real event or place. Generate a realistic-looking scene that didn't actually occur. If the creator ticks that altered content box, that video ends up in the synthetic/AI touched bucket. And that seems to be a big part of what Vidx.ai is focusing on, the content where creators themselves admitted, yeah, this is edited, generated, or significantly altered. So, how did I test it? Nothing too scientific. I just jumped in, played with the filters, tried different keywords, and watched what kind of universe it would show me. First thing that hit me straight in the face, a ton of Indian videos. Like, really a ton. You get this strong feeling that half of the faceless YouTube world is being produced somewhere in India. Maybe that's actually true, huge population, cheap internet, lots of freelancers, lots of AI tools, people grinding out content factories at scale. Or maybe it's also how their filters and parsing are tuned, which languages and regions are easier to detect, which tags are more common, that kind of thing. But the result is clear, Indian content is very visible in the feed. And then comes the second shock, the sheer amount of total nonsense. I'm talking about videos that look like someone opened an AI generator, pressed every button they could find, stacked it all in a timeline, and said, "Perfect. Ship it." Zombie AI faces, weird narrations, strange edits, random stock footage stitched together, and guess what? Some of this stuff has millions of views. At that point you stop laughing and you start asking slightly painful questions like, maybe the problem is not the algorithm. Maybe the problem is us. YouTube, I provide tools for learning, education, and creativity. Humanity at 3 a.m., give me more cursed AI clips with terrifying faces and I'll watch them on loop. Now, let's talk copyright for a second. Inside Vidx.ai's feed, I saw a lot of rooms, talking head compilations, and clips that clearly use footage from famous creators and popular speakers. We're talking well-known faces, big channels, well-known personalities. Sometimes these videos add commentary, context, or a new story. Sometimes it's literally just, let me re-upload a bunch of existing clips, put a different title, maybe an AI voice on top, done. And here, my issue is not with Vidx.ai itself, it's with the whole faceless ecosystem. We're playing in this giant gray zone between fair use, compilations, commentary, and straight-up copyright roulette. Some channels clearly add value. They edit, analyze, remix, explain. Others are basically copy, paste, change thumbnail, hope for the best. Vidx.ai doesn't judge any of that. It just acts like a mirror. It reflects what is already working on YouTube. What somehow survived without copyright strikes. What the audience didn't hate. And what the algorithm actively pushed. If you're thinking about starting or growing a faceless AI channel, this mirror is actually very useful. You can look at this zoo and ask yourself a serious question. Do I want to just become another one of these? Or do I want to build something that at least tries to be original and sustainable? Now, back to scale for a moment. Remember, around 20 million videos per day. Obviously, no tool on the planet can index, analyze, and perfectly categorize everything that's uploaded. Not Vidx, not any competitor, not your uncle's secret Python script. So Vidx.ai has to work with a slice of the platform. It uses metadata, tags, that altered content, flag, keywords, and whatever other signals they have to build its own view of the faceless world. That's important to understand. This is not all AI videos on Earth. It's a big, interesting sample that you can explore and mine for ideas. Now, let's get into some concrete experiments I did. I started with the keyword, fashion. Typed it in, applied the filters, and Vidx.ai actually pulled up some interesting faceless channels about fashion. Lookbooks, AI runway style clips, aesthetic B-roll with AI narration, styling explanations without any visible host. That was useful. You could look at how they structure the videos. The length that works in that niche. How fast-paced the edits are. What kind of titles and thumbnails are pulling views. Then I tried a niche that's much closer to my world, SaaS and software. And, honestly, pretty empty. I didn't see any super inspiring faceless channels in that space that made me go, okay, this is the blueprint. I want to copy this structure. Maybe there just aren't many of those channels. Maybe it's hard to make accounting integrations go viral as faceless content. Shocker, I know. Maybe those videos aren't tagged as altered content, or they don't hit Vidx's thresholds. But the feeling was, in serious, B2B type niches, Vidx right now doesn't show you some magical trove of hidden gems. Meanwhile, in entertainment, stories, weird AI experiments, memes, motivation, crypto, and random top 10 stuff, there's a lot happening. And that leads to the obvious conclusion. Vidx.ai is clearly most valuable right now for entertainment-driven faceless niches. If your game is horror stories with AI voices, dramatic TikTok compilations, top 10 insane facts you won't believe, motivational edits with speeches and B-roll, or just general viral junk food for the brain, then this tool gives you a strong radar for what's currently working. You can filter by time period. See which channels are growing fast. Check which videos massively overperform the channel's average. And basically stop guessing and start copying patterns that have already proven themselves. Now, before I continue, quick pause. If you enjoy this kind of breakdown, not just, here's a tool, but, let's really poke it, test it, see the ugly and the interesting parts. Then do me a favor, hit like on this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm testing different AI tools, automation, faceless content, and all the how to actually use this in real life angles. Your likes and comments tell me what to dig into next, and also convince YouTube that this isn't just another piece of AI trash in the feed. Alright, back to it. From my perspective, there are a few clear use cases where Vidx.ai makes sense. First, if you're already running entertainment faceless channels. You're in the arena of stories, spooky content, crazy facts, short-form dopamine shots. For you, Vidx.ai is a powerful idea generator. You log in, apply filters, and immediately see What kind of topics are popping right now? In what format? And how other channels are structuring their content. You're not guaranteed success, but you at least stop playing blindfolded. Second, if you, like me, have some experimental AI channels on the side. Vidx becomes a comparison tool. You can put your ideas next to what's actually happening on the market and see. Are you overcomplicating things? Are your videos way too clean for the actual YouTube battlefield? Are you trying to be high-end while the audience is happily eating low-effort stuff? Sometimes the lesson is not, do what the trash channels do, but at least you see where you stand. Third, if you're still on the fence about starting a faceless channel. Honestly, after playing with Vidx.ai, I caught myself thinking. Maybe I should actually launch one full, properly structured entertainment faceless project. I already have a bunch of AI tools, scripting workflows, automation scripts, why not put it to the test? And I think that's one of the quiet benefits of using a tool like this. It makes the whole faceless scene feel real, not just some vague "other people are making money with AI" story from Twitter. You see real channels, real numbers, real trash, real winners. You see what works, what looks horrible but performs anyway, and where you personally draw the line. Now, let's be fair and talk about the limitations. First, like I said, no one has full coverage of YouTube. Vidx works with a subset of videos and channels. That means what you see is always a partial map. Useful, yes. Total reality, no. Second, there is a strong feeling of visual noise. When you scroll through an AI-only landscape, you will see a lot of cursed content. If you're a person with taste and some tiny piece of aesthetic sense left inside, this can be exhausting. That's not exactly Vidx's fault. It's just reflecting the actual state of the faceless market. Third, it's not a magic button. It won't say, make exactly this video with this title and you're guaranteed 1 million views. This is analytics, not prophecy. You still need your own brain, your own ethics, and at least a little bit of taste and strategy. Only then this kind of data turns into real value. So, what's my verdict? I like Vidx.ai as a research tool. Not as some, this will change your life in 3 days, thing, but as a magnifying glass you can point at the faceless YouTube universe and ask. Who's actually growing? What are those big channels really built on? And where is my personal red line between clever automation and pure recycling of other people's work? Will I keep using it? Probably, yes, at least to occasionally scan niches and see if something truly interesting appears. And yes, I'm seriously considering running one properly structured, entertainment-style AI channel as a public experiment, just to see what happens. Now I want to throw the question to you. How do you feel about faceless channels and AI content in general? Do you watch this stuff on purpose, or do you just sometimes realize the autoplay has dragged you into an AI rabbit hole at 2 a.m.? And, most importantly, do you think tools like Vidx.ai, that help you study and copy what works, are the future of content creation? Or are we already pushing this whole automation thing a bit too far? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious where you stand on this.